play the tune now for real.
Erica P, and welcome to a special episode of the 305 History Podcast, where we talk 305 history, 305 culture, 305 everything. And we're still here coming to you live at the Nucleus Hub from the Art and Hip Hop Museum in Wynwood for Art Basel. It's getting live. Everybody's having a great time. And in our presence, we have a legend. He's a composer, producer, and if you're from the 305, you know who I'm talking about. We have Gorilla Tech with us sitting here today. How you doing?
Can't complain. I'm alive and well. Blessed to be here.
I know that's right.
Yes.
All right. So let's get into some 305 history.
All right.
Where does your Miami story begin? Were you born and raised in the city? Did you come here later?
Nah, I was born and raised here in Miami. You know, from Little Haiti, the Carol City, to Broward, down south. I've been all over the place. So yeah, very well rooted here in Miami.
Lord boy.
Yes.
What high school did you attend?
I went to American High.
Okay.
But junior high school, I went to Edison Middle.
Okay.
It's in the Little Haiti area.
Uh-huh.
You know, so when I moved to Carol City, that's when I started going to American High, because that's up in that area.
Right.
You know what I mean? So yeah.
You started in Edison. All my family went to Edison.
Oh really?
Yeah. My
Get out of
mom,
here.
my dad, they went to the middle, they went to the high school.
Oh shoot! So we Red Raiders in the building.
Yes, I'm North Miami, but my my family, and I still have family that live out there in the Edison projects, actually.
So we all do. We all have some
right.
remnants.
Some connections.
Yeah,
still.
some connections. Facts.
Okay, so if there's a Miami landmark that you could bring back that no longer exists or is like dead now that you could go to, which one would it be?
Crandon Park, Key Biscayne.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good one.
For sure, because it's like I remember going to that beach every Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my pops would take me there. You know, we from the islands. You know, we Latino, so we got to be around water and coconuts. You know what I'm saying? So it's very, very essential that we're around coconuts, mangoes.
Right.
And, you know, so we would go there and eat the sea grapes. You know, like en route they would have the sea grape trees.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I would definitely want to bring that back.
That vibe.
They bought it, and now it's not the same. You can't even fish over there anymore.
Oh my God, isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. So to answer your question, that will be definitely one of the things to bring back.
That's a great answer. Nobody has said Crandon Park yet. I like that.
Yeah.
So you say you Latino. Let the people know where you repping.
I'm repping Honduras.
Honduras.
Yeah.
Cool. You know how it is in Miami. You be like, you black? I'm like, yeah, but I'm Hispanic as well.
And they still don't believe you, even though you talk to them in Spanish. It's like, to them, they just refuse to believe that Spanish is coming out of this.
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean? So it's almost like
you got to be one or the other.
So I don't look Spanish. I don't dress Spanish. I look like a negro.
Right.
Or, you know what I mean?
Right.
So even when I do talk Spanish to people that are Spanish, they still talk to me in English.
Yeah.
As if I don't know what I'm saying. You know what I mean? I'm trying to help you out.
Right,
you know what I mean?
exactly.
I'm trying to, not let you struggle so much. So.
Right, and don't be talking shit about me behind my back, because I know what you're saying. Okay, without being biased, what is your favorite music era from Miami? If you had to pick one which influenced you the most, which one was it?
It would have to be bass.
Bass music.
Yeah, from the 80s, from the 80s, 90s.
Yeah?
Yeah, because when I started producing, that's when bass was really popping. You
Right.
know what I mean? I was listening to the greats, Mr. Mix, Eric Griffin, Clay D, Danny D. You know what I mean? Like all the greats.
Right.
So they inspired me a huge way. And I actually went on a roll with Luke
Nice.
and Disco Rick.
Okay, legends.
Yeah, and actually Disco Rick is the one that gave me my first beat machine.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's more to the story.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Get into it.
But before I started producing, I was DJing. I was collecting records.
Right.
In 83, 84, I was buying all the, hip hop records. And fast forward in 88, I started DJing for Disco Rick.
Okay.
Okay. And that's before I even got into making beats. So when we would go and do our shows, he would have this drum machine, the Akai MPC 60, to sample vocals and kids, and that will be our sampler while we were live on stage.
Right.
Okay, so we didn't use it as a beat machine. It was just more so a sampler, So fast forward, he was like, here, keep this beat machine. Here's the manual, learn it. And that's what I did. So after I learned it and, started learning how to program, I ended up making his first album, which is called The Negro's Back, which is his first solo album.
Okay.
And that was my first time really learning how to make beats. I wouldn't say I was a producer then because I didn't know anything about producing.
Right.
Producing and beat makers is totally different.
Right, of course.
Okay, so, from Disco Rick, I learned that. Then I did the Dogs album. Then after that, I started really getting into my bag. Ended up producing a lot of songs for a lot of the local groups in Miami. Then fast forward, I did on all of Trick Daddy's albums, we did 2 songs on there. And then I was known as the Committee.
Yeah, see, I was getting to that.
Yeah.
yes.
Then it was the Committee, which was 5 of us, myself, Fence, Chapter, Shay, Track 5-3. Those were the Committee.
Okay.
So we were the production company. So a lot of the songs that you would see, a lot of the credits you would see on Trick Daddy would be produced by the Committee. Then.
Okay.
And we broke off and kind of separated the production team and the label, which ended up being Drum Majors.
Right.
So Drum Majors ended up being the sole production house for what I was doing. You know what I'm saying? And the rest is history.
There you go, 305 history.
That's right.
Okay, so I don't know if you're a sports fan. What's your favorite Miami sports team? It could be college. It could be, some people, they sour about being Dolphins fans, but they die hard Dolphins fans.
Yeah. Honestly, I never really got into sports like that. But of course, anything Miami, I rep, whether win or lose. You know what I mean?
Same here.
But if I had to choose, it would definitely be the Hurricanes.
The Hurricanes.
Yes.
Yeah,
facts.
You're the second one to say that today. Canes, all about the U. Okay, so favorite food spot in Miami. If you had somebody visiting and you were like, you know what, this is where you have to go, where's it going to be? I know it's hard.
It's hard because my palate is all over the place. I love Caribbean food. I love Latin food. I love Haitian food.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So if I had to say the best Caribbean spot, the best Jamaican spot would be on Eyes and on Pines.
Okay.
Okay. It would other one would probably be Jamaica House.
Okay, yes.
Okay. As far as Creole, definitely Chef Creole.
Oh yeah.
That's the
staple.
Homie. Staple. As far as Latin, it's hard to say because I cook.
Okay.
I'm Latin too, so I don't really have to go out to a Latin spot and get that because I do that at home.
Yes.
Ripe plantains. Arroz y frijoles.
Right.
Going
down.
It's going down. You know what I mean? So yeah, I would definitely say as a Caribbean, from the Caribbean aspect, would be On Eyes and Jamaica House and Chef Creole.
That real Caribbean stuff. Yeah, I try to tell my daughter, I'm Puerto Rican and her dad's Nicaraguan and she's always like Chipotle. And I'm like, girl, Chipotle. That's not real food, baby.
No,
you're Hispanic. You know the real stuff, so
Facts.
I already know.
Facts.
All right, cool. Let's get into some music. So you touched on Drum Majors. What inspired you to become a producer and start that production team?
Well, what really inspired me to be a producer was, just being in the studio and seeing the likes of DJ Debonair, which is another legendary Miami-based producer. When I was signed to his label as a DJ, I would see him make the Miami bass beats with the SP1200, which is a drum machine, a known drum machine that everybody knows.
Okay.
And then seeing the process and just being, just like, wow, I could do this. You know what I mean? Like it's real easy. As long as you have a rhythm and you know the music, it's a no-brainer. That opened up a whole other side of, wanting to make beats.
Right.
Okay. And then after that, getting hooked up with Disco Rick and him giving me the drum machine now, it was inevitable.
It was
you know what I mean? It was
inevitable after
inevitable.
that.
So with me being able to have the musical background of being a DJ and knowing the music and knowing all the samples and knowing all the cool parts to use to incorporate in whatever beats I was making, it was just instantaneous.
You got it.
And listening to the likes of Isaac Hayes and James Brown and producers out of Philly, I forget the name, but it's a lot of influence that went into me wanting to be a producer.
Yeah. And you said you were up there with the beat machine DJing with it?
Yeah, well, with Disco Rick, we wasn't using the drum machine as a additional part of the DJ. It was more so as a sampler.
Right.
So if he asked the crowd to say something, then I would reply back to help the crowd with the drum machine.
Wow.
So it wasn't like I was making the beat while they were performing. It was just a sampler.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's different. Maybe but I've never seen anybody do anything like that.
Well, not no more.
No more.
Yeah, fast forward, everything is embedded inside the controllers.
Right.
So you have that bank where you have multiple samples. But back then, we had instant replay. We had the DAP machines, and we had the drum machines that would sample for long amounts of time.
Do you still kind of use those type of machines now? I know technology is different, but do you still try to go back to that to kind of get that, old feel? I know it's a little tougher to use them because, they make it easier for you, but...
As far as to answer that question, for me, I still have my Technique 1200s and mixer and records.
Okay.
Like I said, tomorrow night I'm playing at Dante's and I'm bringing all of that. You know
Nice.
what I'm saying? So I'm producing in the box now with computer software. I'm using Ableton. I don't have my physical drum machine anymore.
Right.
Although I have access to plenty. But as of right now, I'm using everything in the box.
Right.
Because it's just so easy to get to it. You don't have to navigate through a whole bunch of sounds. It's at your fingertips.
Right.
Although it does make you a little lazy because you're not just like beating out the program or you're playing. Everything is click.
Right.
If you're drawing notes, you're drawing all the parts that you want to hear. So it takes out the vibe into it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I miss that. Even though, I still get into it, but that's one element of having a drum machine and having external keyboards that's very essential to making beats because you get to put your feeling into it while you're drumming or you're programming certain notes.
Yeah, I've been seeing you on Instagram, your videos. I'm like, okay.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
I love them.
Appreciate
So,
it.
of course. So, talk to us about your contribution to the icons.
Okay. Wow. The icons. My contribution was mainly the production.
Right.
The production and the concepts that we all came with. Just being that glue, making sure every artist in the label at the time was well taken care of as far as musically. I gave them what they needed. Whatever vision they had for whatever song they had an idea for, I made sure that I saw it through.
Right.
So I can honestly say that was my contribution, even though it was just not me solely, it was my partners as well.
Right.
Fence, shout out to Fence, Chapter, Track, Shay, we all put in our blood, sweat, and tears to collectively to make icons happen. You know what I'm saying? And it was a bit of it was kind of crazy because everybody thought Icons was just one group.
Right.
And Icons was really the label, and we had all these artists signed to the label.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So when we came out with Get Crunked Up, and everybody was on there, it was basically like example of Rough Riders. You see how Rough Riders have Eve, Lox, DMX, and they all do one song, but it's the Rough Riders.
Right, that's the same
so
thing.
Icons, exact same thing.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? So every artist was signed individually, but we just did a song collectively
Icons.
to push out the label.
Oh,
You know what
okay.
I mean? So a lot of people don't know that. They think the Icons is the group,
The group.
together, but it's really the label with different individual artists signed to the label.
That's a fun fact. I didn't know that. You just put
Yeah.
me on right now.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, that's something good to know. So, Lakia and Lotto jumped on the beat.
Yes.
Get fucked up. How did you feel about that? You know, them keeping that alive and jumping on it.
I mean, I couldn't be mad at it.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, it's like they keeping my music alive. You know, like it's good to hear what the new producers and new artists are doing to something that I created years ago.
Yes.
You know, even though they didn't do much, they kept it, you know, in its truest essence. You know, they didn't change the beat. It was almost identical.
Right.
You know, maybe a few tweaks here and there, you know, updated. And I was like, yes, keep sampling.
Right.
Keep going, you know. And it was mind blowing. I was really happy. I look forward to those moments.
Yeah.
I can't wait to somebody sample something else of mine.
Right. You're like, keep on going.
Keep on going. You know, Kid Cudi sampled
Maui Wowie.
Maui Maui. You know, he used the grind mode.
Yeah.
You know, and he didn't sample it. He used the whole beat, the whole beat with the hook.
Yep.
You know, and it was a thing for a moment because you know, without getting into too much details, the credit wasn't right.
Right.
You know, somebody else got the credit for
Oh, wow.
production. Okay, and you know, we still dealing with that, and we're gonna work through it and get it right.
Get it right.
But yeah, you know, keep sampling me. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. Just do it the right way, okay? A credit. So, what was it like working with the late great DJ Uncle Al?
Oh man, Uncle Al was a ball of energy. You know, like he was really about business. Anytime, you know, he would come to the studio, I'll be like, okay, Al, here's the beat. This part, this is what you're gonna do. You know, we already had, you know, we basically produced the records already. All he had to come in and do and just follow our lead.
Right.
You know, go ahead and you can just do your thing over the hook part. Here's the break. You do your thing. Not to say that he didn't have any creative opinion. He did. Of course, he's a DJ. You
Right.
know what I mean? So a lot of the stuff that a lot of ideas that he would have as well, we would incorporate it. You know, we actually did a whole album, you know, that no one really knows.
What?
I think his last official album under Joy Boy, we did a song called Bounce. Okay. We did a lot of compilations albums afterwards, but working with him, it was an experience because he was about it. Like he would come in, lay his part. Okay, what else y'all need? Okay, Tech, you don't need nothing else? All right, I'm out. And he just let us do everything else.
Oh, yeah. Rest in
Yeah.
peace to
Rest
Uncle
in peace,
Al.
Uncle
Man.
Al.
Yeah, it's a great
Straight up.
one.
Yep.
So, if you can produce for one artist, dead or alive, that you feel like I would love for them to jump on one of my beats, who would it be?
Good question. Wow. Dead or alive? You know what? I never really thought about that. But if I would have to say, I would love to produce for what's my girl name? Lion, Tigers, and Bears.
Oh, Jasmine Sullivan?
Jasmine Sullivan. I would love to produce for her because of her vocal range
Amazing
and the way
vocals.
she sounds. You know, her, alive, dead. Man. Wow.
So many greats.
It's so many greats.
I
It was so
know.
many greats. But I tell you, Pac.
Yeah. Pac.
Yeah, Pac.
I could imagine that,
Pac,
man.
because you know Pac was a real emotional rapper. You know, like when you hear him in his songs, he was real passionate.
Yes.
And a lot of my music, I have a lot of music that represents what he would represent. You know what I mean? So I would say Pac.
Pac.
Yeah.
Pac and Jasmine Sullivan was unexpected good one. I love
Yeah,
that because
yeah.
I'm an R&B girly.
Hey, let's go.
So who would you consider your GOAT producer? You know, like I know this is your craft and you know, but who's somebody who you are like, you know what, this is somebody who I'm inspired by, somebody whose music that I, you know, cook with.
Danger Hands, Pharrell, Timbaland, Premier, Pete Rock, Marley Marl, Larry Smith. Larry Smith is the guy who produced a lot of Houdini, Run DMC.
Okay.
Okay, Curtis Blow, and it's 80s. It's like the
Yeah.
first super producer
Right.
that no one really knows about. Because anyway, just look up Larry Smith.
Larry Smith.
Larry
I was
Smith.
just gonna ask you, who's Larry Smith?
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
Kate Trinata.
Okay, Trinata.
It's a lot, but those Dre, Isaac Hayes,
Isaac Hayes.
yeah, those are good right there.
Good.
Yeah,
I like that. That's a good list.
yeah.
So let us know what you got coming up. I know you said you're gonna go to have some stuff happening for Art Basel.
Yeah.
What else could we look forward to?
Look forward to some more Greasy, some more Greasy music. Like I think, I don't think, me and Greasy, we have a lot of history together and we have great chemistry
Okay.
when it comes down to, making songs with them. You know what I mean? Bay Day did real well this year.
Mm-hmm.
We're looking forward for another Bay Day next year, February. And anybody who's willing to put in the work, you know what I'm saying? Any new artist that feels like they have that traction and they have what it takes, I'm looking, you know what I mean?
I know.
So, as far as anything in the future, will definitely be tomorrow night, at Dante's.
Dante's Hi-Fi. Catch him there tomorrow night. Well, let the people know where they can find you and, look you up so they can see where you're coming.
Yep, you can find me on Instagram. I am Gorilla Tech. TikTok, I am Gorilla Tech. Facebook, my name, Tony Castillo. I do have a Facebook Gorilla Tech page as well, but I'm barely active on that because everybody is on my personal page.
Right. It's in
know.
your personal stuff.
Yeah. Well, it's all Gorilla Tech related anyway. So yeah. So Instagram, I am Gorilla Tech. TikTok, I am Gorilla Tech. Facebook, Tony Castillo.
Thank you for chopping it up with us. A legend in the house, you guys. And thank y'all for tuning in. Don't miss out. 305 History, where we talk 305 history, 305 culture, 305 everything. Till next time. Bye.
Oh,
Hey.
peace.